Well, welcome everybody to the Museum of Biological Diversity. It's a hidden treasure. I guess not too many people know about it. But on the 22nd of April this year, we actually on a Saturday will have our doors open and we'll have a lot of displays up and all the different collections will be open. So we actually do have a lot of collections. What do you guys think you can find in a natural history museum? What is natural history? What do you think? Yeah.
The history of animals and people and how they live.
Yeah, very good. So actually we have less about the people, but we really focus on animals. And we do actually also sometimes have live birds. So we are sort of set up, so there's a lot of researchers actually that work in here in all the different collections. So maybe I should just tell you first, so the collections that we have in this building is an insect collection, we have a plant collection, we have fishes, we have mollusks. We have tetrapods, which you'll be visiting. So those are birds, amphibians, reptiles, mammals. Did I forget anything?
Arachnids.
Arachnids, very good, yes. So, yeah, there's actually Dr. Bradley. He's retired, but yeah, he still studies those. Ticks and mites. I knew there was one other collection. Because we're actually famous for our tick and mite collection. It's maybe not something you would think you'd want to collect, but they're all there. And then we also have the sound lab. So that's actually where you are in right now. So this is a large animal sound collection. So we don't really have the physical specimens. So we don't collect birds or frogs or anything, but we record their sounds. And for recording, we use things like that.
Satellite.
It's a satellite dish. No, actually it's not. This is called a parabolic reflector. So we put a microphone in the middle here. No, actually we have to put it in this way. Because so basically what happens is you get all the sound waves that come in here, they reflect off this parabolic reflector.
And they bounce back to the animal, which causes the animal to come to you.
Nope, but that's a good thought, but nope, doesn't happen. But we can actually attract the animals. I'll tell you that in a second. But this basically just bounces off the sound waves and then they go into the microphone and we can record them. And this actually amplifies the sound, so that's why we use those. Otherwise, we also sometimes just go out with a directional microphone like this, and then just hold that at the animal, and have the animal vocalize, and then record the sounds. But you brought up something really interesting. So with birds, especially, when we actually go out there and we play back some of the song to them, they will come in. They get really curious and they'll come and investigate that. Because when birds sing, they really use their sounds to defend their territories. So they want to have sort of their own space. And then they also try to attract the female. So it's mainly the males that are singing. And they try to attract females. And so when they hear some song, they either think, oh, this is somebody who's trying to intrude a territory, or it's somebody who tries to attract the female. So they'll come and look at it. So we can attract animals with that. We use a recorder like this. So this is a digital recorder. They come in various sizes, but this one's nice because it's big, so you can actually see the display and all that.
Can you play a sound?
I'll play you a sound in a second because we actually have to go into a different room.
Can you play a frog?
I'll show you more. Yes, I can play you a frog. So let's see whether we can all fit into the room over there where we have our recording equipment. Does anyone recognize that? What that is? It's a bird. Yeah, very good. What kind of bird?
Sparrow?
Yeah, it's a sparrow. It's a song sparrow. So it's a song sparrow that actually
the random one.
sings a song like this. But you wanted who wanted to hear a frog? Any particular kind of frog?
A toad.
A toad. Let's see. Do we have a toad?
An American toad, I guess.
Yes. Oh yeah, here, Eastern American toads.
Chinese.
Let's see. Here we are. Oops. There you go, there's your toad.
Don't make me want to take it down.
Pretty good tease. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm using this program that actually visualizes the sound. Because it's so hard for us to actually just hear and listen to the sound. Because if I ask you, like, how many times does this toad call, I don't think anybody can tell me, right? I mean, just listen to that. I mean, how many times does it call?
About 100.
100. That's a good guess.
400 times already.
Yeah, but I take that too. But doesn't that sound cool?
Sounds like my mom.
It's the same sound, but it's just slowed down to half the speed.
What is this?
So this is actually our entire collection is online. And You guys can just go home and then listen to our sounds all day long, and then you can listen to all the
I want
different...
to hear a wolf.
Well, so there's a fox for you.
Sounds like my dog.
Pretty cool too.
It's a whining.
That kind of sounds like a dog whining.
That sounds like me.
I know it is.
It sounds like a dog
It's
whining.
probably
sounds like
actually
you were
a fox that
crying.
they had inside somewhere.
It could. How'd you get that underwater?
Oh, see, this was actually done in Wyoming. So we have recordings really from all over the world, but mainly from North America and kind of like focused in the US. There's your humpback whale.
How'd you get it underwater with a GoPro camera?
No, so she had some microphones that she would kind
Yeah.
of like put on kind of some string or so and put
But
it
there are
underwater.
people who go underwater with cameras and take pictures.
There are, and
There's
that's
an
really
underwater
cool.
camera,
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, there's the lion.
You play Pikachu. Ooh, put a Pikachu sound. It's been a while.
I
But I can tell you one thing, so you can go home, you guys, and then you can go to our website, and then you can type in whatever species you want, and then see what we have for recordings. And then let's just head down to the tetrapod collection.
Which way?
Start walking.
Can I?
But don't go out through the other door.
That's small. I can't get it down in here. It smells bad. It smells horrible.
Why is there a shower in here? Wait, was there anything in here once in a while?
I will tell you guys in a sec when y'all get closer.
There's turtles back there.
There are turtles back there. How many of you guys know what a tetrapod is? And I'll give you a hint. Everything back here is a tetrapod.
It's
so
a stuffed animal.
it is not a
No, it's
stuffed
like
animal.
it's like one of those.
It's
animals.
something
It's like
you
an
can
animal, but you like stuff it. It's a bird.
Well, we do have a lot of stuffed animals back here, but anybody know specific animals that are tetrapods?
It's a bird.
A bird! That's a beaver. Armadillos are tetrapods. Did you guys even know that you are a tetrapod?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad we're not up there.
So, back reptiles, mammals, and birds, and all of which are tetrapods. But specifically, we're going to focus today on a lot of our birds and mammals, which are the ones you're going to see most.
Is there animals alive?
Everything back here that you see has been alive at one point, but has been collected. So anyway, how many of you guys know what an American robin looks like?
Me.
Do you guys want to describe it to me? It kind of has what color is its chest?
Red.
Reddish orange. What about the back of the bird? What color is that? It's like gray, brown.
Red.
I have a question.
Well, no, the back isn't red.
The beak is yellow.
The beak is yellow. Okay. But when we open up a drawer of all of these robins, do they all look the same? No. We stick them here in the museum so we can learn what they look like.
But I want an albino.
This is albino.
Ooh.
So
we see
all different sorts of specimens so we can start to gain an idea of what a species looks like. I am going to show you guys this guy over here. This is our manatee. Her name is Willoughby. She was actually what we call re-articulated. So we took apart her skeleton and then we put it back together. But do you guys notice something odd about her?
She has fingers.
She does have fingers.
All manatees have fingers.
And she has a remade bone.
Fingers. But anything else odd about her?
She has a remade bone.
She has a what?
A remade bone.
Yeah, so we actually did what we call 3D printing and we remade some of the pieces that were missing. So you'll notice one of her shoulder bones, the white one, that's actually 3D printed, and so is a piece of her jaw. And so that's what we like to call integration of different sciences. We use technology and as well as our knowledge of what a manatee bone looks like to kind of rebuild our skeleton so you guys could see what an entire manatee skeleton looks like.
What's this thing?
Some of them being cats from the zoo. Anybody know what this is?
A bird.
It is a bird. It's a pheasant. So it's a ring-necked pheasant. We actually have these in Ohio. We also have a sea turtle. We call them marbles because if you look really close, his eyes are marbles.
Is that real though?
It is real. Everything back here is real except for that skull right over there.
That one?
That's what we call a replica. We actually have people who remake, or we call them bone clones. They remake specific things that maybe we can't get out in nature anymore because of permitting issues. But this is a cheetah skeleton. So can you guys see how the claws are actually part of that bone structure there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's to help it run in how it wants to, isn't it?
That helps them dig in
What's that red
sometimes.
stuff?
What's the red stuff? That's actually just wire holding it together.
Because it's a fake, it's those replica bones.
No, those are real bones. It's actually a donation from the zoo.
Its bones look like really
All right,
nice.
so I'm gonna answer anybody who hasn't asked a question. Yes.
Which animals are those eggs?
Those eggs belong to that bird over there. That's known as a killdeer. And what's really cool is that's exactly what their nests look like. They kind of point their eggs inward, and they're speckled so they can kind of hide against bare ground. But they do lay their eggs on bare ground. Sorry, I'm pretty knowledgeable, but we have 43,000 specimens back here, and they go all over the world, so it's a little hard to remember everything.
Hippopotamus there. What that skull?
That's an Asian elephant skull, but I think you guys have to move on and go see the really cool.
This is a hippopotamus. That's a hippo.
That's a leopard. I know you can spend forever.
One thing that this kind of brings up is the fact that we've always got to be careful of what we're doing. You know, all through life you want to be careful. You want to think about what you're doing. You want to be prepared. It's one of your mottos, right? That's one of your main mottos. And I had Cub Scouts, and so I wanted to bring to your attention these fishes right here.
Dead fish.
Now you're wondering, I'm sorry about the smell, and somebody mentioned that earlier, but that's just something we work with. It's alcohol. It's just, all it is, for the most part, is alcohol and fish fat, fish oil. You know, the oil inside the fish's body comes out of the fish's body and mixes with the alcohol and makes a rather unpleasant smell. But these guys are something I'm rather excited about. They don't look very exciting, but they're a rare species. This is called a bloater. And I don't know, do you know what the word bloat means?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you get, your belly gets big, or, you know, just, and so if something dies, and you see a dead deer on the road, it's all bloated. The belly got, you know, the stomach blew up because of the gases inside. So like they catch them at depths of up to about 700 feet in Lake Superior. Does anybody know where Lake Superior is? Want to tell us?
I know where Lake Erie is.
Yeah, and it's very close to that, relatively.
Superior is up in Michigan and
Yep.
Wisconsin.
Yes, they both.
I thought, so there's two lakes in Michigan, Lake Michigan and
And also it also borders Lake Erie and Lake St. Clair, and so yeah, Lake Superior is over to the west, to the northwest of Lake Erie. And fishes have a gas bladder, and that's how they maintain their position in the water. So they blow that up with gases from the oxygen that they breathe, and that they blow up that or let the air out of that gas bladder, and that way they can go up and down in the water column and not have to swim as hard and not use up all the energy. So I don't know if you've ever seen a scuba diver and the air that he puts from his tanks into his gas bladder in his vest, and so that's very similar to what these guys are doing. Trawlers, you know, boats with big nets, they will pull up a bunch of these fish, and they'll pull them up rather quickly so they don't have time to adjust their bladders to the sudden decrease in pressure, and so all that air in there expands, and it makes the fish's gas bladder expand and gives them a bloated appearance. And so these, however, are not bloaters. These are very similar, but they are lake whitefish, much more common in the lakes. But one of the differences is they don't bloat as much, and we had to get a special permit called a scientific collecting permit. And that's a very good question. That allows us to use special collecting equipment. And so like bigger nets with finer mesh and electroshockers. And you ever heard of an electroshocker? You got to do it sometime if you ever get a chance. You take electricity You apply the electricity to the water, and it shocks the fish, but it also causes them to involuntarily swim, in many cases, towards the electricity. And so, and then they belly up, anybody know what formaldehyde is? No? The dads know,
Toxic gas
of
that
course.
kills fish.
It is toxic. It is also, so if you smell it, it does produce a gas that can actually kill you. I mean, if you're in a room with concentrated enough amounts of formaldehyde, it'll gas out, and then you'll perish. You'll go unconscious from the gas, and then die eventually. So, but this, so it's caustic, and which means that it would burn you if you left it on your skin long enough. Not very long at all, actually. So we use gloves when we handle it, and we have this fan, this hood, this exhaust fan, draws in the fumes when we handle. Oh, that's his gut. His gut sort of erupted out of his belly when that gas bladder blew up.
It's creepy.
That sound like what we used to have when I
Are these lampreys?
So we've taken X-rays of these fishes so that we can study their skeletons without, you can't pick them up as long as you just put them back. We can study their skeletons and determine whether they're different or not. So one of the things we do here in the museum is study species relatedness, taxonomy, and phylogeny. And so the differences in species in populations help determine whether there are different species or subspecies or genre. And so we look at things like bones, we look at interiorly, that's how we have all these skeletons. So when we get a frozen fish, we can make a skeleton out of it. Now, over there, direct your attention over there to the corner of that cabinet. Do you see those colorful little, the boxes with colorful little fishes in it? Angelica can show you. And then they take that and powder it, and provide it to us, and then we can put it in solutions, and that digests the
Do you have lampreys?
Oh, we do. Can we go over here a little bit?
Sure, yeah, let's go and look at some lampreys.
Cub Scout asked, do we have lampreys? Start here
Yeah. I said pupper.
and come back here.
Do not touch.
That's the extent,
Anglerfish.
is the extent of our lampreys. We have a lot of lampreys. There are several different species, and they're a lot more common than people might think. But you know why you don't find them? What do you know about lampreys? I do have some sockeye salmon. They're in jars up there, or in these big tanks. Oh, wow.
Advertising the sunk cost of capital equipment.
Oh, but it's a hot. Right. Absolutely. I'm sorry.
My fish are back.
All fresh water.
We should thank them for bringing us around the museum.
Thank you for showing us the